So good evening, guys, and happy Sunday to all of your sunshiny faces. Guys, I have some sad sort of news to share with you guys today. Yesterday evening, actually, we were cleaning out our guinea pig's cage, which I think I shared with you guys when we got our guinea pig Gigi like 2 years ago. I think it was like over 2 years ago, like almost close to 3, or at least 2.5 years. And we ended up, she was actually a rescue. We adopted, well, I think we originally fostered her from the animal shelter where we foster our dogs, and we ended up adopting her. And so, like I said, that was at least like close to 2.5 years ago, because I think it was the fall of not last year but the year before that. So like I said, it was at like 2.5 years. And she was already at least over 3 years old when we got her. But last night, actually, like in the afternoon, we had cleaned out her cage, and it was like, my dad normally cleans it out. My mom will just like hold her while he's cleaning it out. And but my mom had to go run into the kitchen because she was going to go and get her some of her food and like refill her food bowl and all that. And so when she went in there, she asked me to come and sit with her on the bed. And when I walked in, I was like, she looks kind of like, you know, like she's being kind of lazy. Like she was just kind of like laying on the bed. Then I picked her up and I gave her a carrot, and she was all like happy and, you know, all like, you know, just like kind of peppy again. And then last night, so my parents ended up going to bed and she wasn't moving, but they found out that she is no longer with us. Which is, like I said, it's kind of tough, just because like yesterday again too, like it was just literally like a couple hours earlier that, you know, I was scratching right underneath her little chin. Like she was all fluffy, like all underneath her chin, and so I was like scratching her, and you know, like her head, and then too, if you went like this, like down her nose, she would like go like this, and kind of like, you know, like to get to your finger. Like I think she didn't actually like it that much, but it was like really cute. But then at the same time too, though, she would purr sort of like when she did that, because you guys ever heard like guinea pigs purring? It's so cute. But she would do that actually, and she loved being scratched like right behind her her ears too. But she was like, you know, I don't know, like it was weird, like because I saw her laying down like sort of weird. And then also too, she left, like she was inside her, she had like a little house inside of her cage, and she was always sleeping inside it. The other day when I went in there, she wasn't, though. She was sleeping like outside of it, and I was like, that's really weird for her. But then, like I said, when my mom put her on the bed, she like, and she was normal, she was like the best guinea pig, guys. She was the 6th guinea pig that we've had, and she, like, I've never had a guinea pig though where like that, like a lot of my other guinea pigs, the first one that we had wasn't so much, but a lot of the other ones just seemed very skittish, and she just really loved like human interaction. She loved to be pet. A couple of the other guinea pigs that we had, like if you went to go and like pet them, sometimes they'd like freak out, but then like once you got a carrot and stuff like that, and you started like, you know, like you would feed them and pet them at the same time, like they'd be calm. Like she didn't care. She just wanted, like every single time she would hear the door open or the lights come on, she'd run out of her house to like come and see like if you brought her a treat or if you were just there to pet her or whatever. And like I said, she was just like the sweetest. Like I said, probably one of the best guinea pigs that we had. We had one other, was a rescue, but I think all of the other ones perhaps were from the pet store. But I do know that one of the other ones that we had, I think actually the only other girl that we had was also a rescue as well, and she was actually the only long-haired guinea pig that we've ever had. We've always, like all the other ones were short-haired, but Gigi wasn't. I mean, the other rescue that we had, she was a long-haired guinea pig. But like I said, all the other ones that we've ever had have always been short-haired guinea pigs, so that was like a very different experience when we had her. And I think she was the 2nd guinea pig maybe that we had, or possibly the 3rd, but I kind of want to say she was the 2nd. But like I actually had 2 mice when I was little, which I barely remember. I always kind of confused them with the hamster that we had. We had a hamster, and we also had a couple birds over the years as well. We've had like a variety of pets. The only thing we haven't really had is a rabbit, gerbil, or ferret. Those are really the only thing, and a rat. I guess we didn't have a rat, but we've had mice. But like I said, I think those are the only things that we like haven't like had were those couple things. And like we haven't had any like big birds, but we've had like smaller like parakeets. We've had several dogs. We had one cat when I was little, and we also fostered a cat and her 4 kittens. We actually have had ducks too. When I was homeschooled, my mom did a unit on ducks, and for a short period of time, because this is how this happened, we had ducks. We had I think we were like, you know, I said raising these ducks from like ducklings, and there were 6 of them. However, when they sent the ducks to us, they actually sent like 12 male chicks as packing material. That was actually what they were considered to keep the ducks warm. And so my mom, I guess, didn't read that when she was like going to order the ducks, and that they also send you like, it was like 12 male chicks or something. And so at the time I was half homeschooled and half going to public school, and so I remember my mom went to go pick me up because I would normally leave right before lunchtime. And so she went to go and pick me up from school, and she was like, Kayla, we have got a huge problem on our hands. And I was like, what? Because I knew the ducks were coming today, and I was like, oh no, what's wrong? And she's like, they sent us like 12 chicks. She's like, Dad is going to freak out, because he already, I think, wasn't a huge fan that we were like doing the duck thing. But when we ended up like I said, getting all the chicks, my mom was like freaking out. Like, I remember her standing in the hallway of the school coming to pick me up and like being like, we need to get home now. Like, it was like serious situation. I think we ended up actually giving them to we were going to give them to my grandparents' farm. I think they didn't take them though, but my mom did find somebody to give them to. But again, we have had a plethora of different animals that we have had over the years. We also found a kitten, a baby kitten that was just a couple of probably hours old underneath our deck that the mom cat had abandoned, and we ended up raising her for a handful of weeks, and then ended up giving her to one of my mom's friends, who I think actually still has her. But that was when I think it was maybe my senior year or junior year of high school possibly. And like I told you guys too, we've had multiple dogs, but we've also fostered a lot of dogs as well. So like I said, we've had a lot of animals over the year, but honestly I feel like Gigi, she sticks out in my mind as far as like the guinea pigs. Like, she was just, I don't know, she was just very, very special. Like, just very, like, she was cuddly. And my first guinea pig, he was a lot like that too, but like, I don't know, like, there was just something kind of special about her, like the way that she just I don't know, it was very, like, and that's the thing though, is that we got her when she was 3 years old, and like I said, at least over 3 years old, and we had her for 2.5 years, and guinea pigs only live to be between 5 to 7 years old, so again, she was kind of, you know, in her elder years anyway, so that's why we really don't know what happened to her. You know, she just ended up, you know, like, we again found her in the cage a handful of hours later, and again, it's kind of sad. Like, I went in my parents' room twice today, and I was like, oh, she's not in here anymore. Like, normally when I turn on the light and open the door, like, she's in there waiting for you. And like I said, it's just kind of sad. So and the sad thing is that I think I only recorded her maybe like the first couple, like, into the first week or so that we got her, and I think I only took maybe like a picture or two of her even as well. Like, and normally when I would take her out, like, if it's just like I was watching TV, like, I didn't have a real reason to like take a picture of her or, you know, something like that, you know, but like I would take her out a lot. Like we were just watching TV, like I'd go and get her, and then, you know, like I said, just bring her in there and just let her, you know, like she'd just sit there and I'd give her carrots and she'd just, you know, sit on my lap while we were watching TV and stuff like that. So it wasn't like this, you know, like, I don't know, I never really like got cameras out to take pictures and videos or anything like that really when she was out. And she didn't do anything super interesting either when she would just like sit there. You know, but I don't know, it was just, she was like acting like, once I picked her up though, like I said, like it was kind of weird, like the way I saw her laying, but like just kind of weird though, because even into the first couple like weeks when we got her, we knew that she was again a little bit older, and so she wasn't, I guess, like quite as spry as some of the, like we have had like baby guinea pigs and stuff like that that are always like, you know, kicking their bedding up and running around and stuff like that, and she didn't really end up doing that. She was, you know, a little bit older, like I said, and so she wasn't, you know, she wouldn't really like run around in her cage and stuff like that. Her favorite thing to do though was to flip her food bowl over and spill all her food out to pick out the particular pieces of food. Like my mom would buy like a mix, and she didn't like the little, like I don't know what kind it was of the like food, but like these other little like treat kind of like food that was like in there. It was like much less, it's like literally eating the marshmallows out of the Lucky Charms cereal. Like that's what she would do. Like there would be these little like different pieces and there wouldn't be quite as many as like the other food, and she would always pick those out and eat them. That was just like that, she only liked to eat those kind. And so she would flip her food bowl, or like there was also a food bowl that was actually like attached to the cage. She would go and like scrape all the stuff out until she found the pieces that she actually wanted to eat. She was a very picky eater, but it was like so cute. Like it was just her little personality that like she liked, you know, like only certain types of the food that was in there, like the treats and stuff like that, and you know, like the good stuff, I guess, that was mixed in with the food, and so I know, but she loved carrots. Like that was her favorite things. And I was always telling you guys too, like, you know, we would always end up buying like extra carrots and extra, you know, again, like certain types of vegetables and stuff like that, because I was like, oh yeah, like she'll eat it, you know, like it was always, she liked to have treats. And so, you know, but yesterday, like I said, it like, again too, she wasn't like acting super out of the norm, but I just, like, when I saw her on the bed, I was like, oh, like she's just kind of like laying there, like she was laying like on her side instead of just like kind of like sitting there, and so like very like lazy. And I was just like, normally she does that like when she's inside her like house, inside of her cage, and like, but she was just doing that on the bed, was like, just seemed a little out of character to me. And then, you know, but like I said, when I picked her up, then she was like fine and like eating, and you know, again too, like purring and all that kind of stuff. A couple hours later, you know, like I don't know, like I said, what ended up happening really, but like I said, I noticed something was kind of seemed a little off with her. Like it was maybe a couple days earlier, like sometime during the week, that I kind of noticed that too. I was like, she's acting a little funky, like, you know, but again, it wasn't insanely out of character, because she would do that every once in a blue moon, where like she'd just like, you know, lay outside of her house, and you're kind of like, oh, like what's wrong? And it's weird too, because sometimes she'd be like in like a super dead sleep inside of her like house, her little house inside of the cage, and my mom has actually thought like 2 or 3 times that she like wasn't breathing anymore. And so like she would like go in there and like poke her, and then all of a sudden she'd get like freaked out and get up. And my mom thought that that was the same thing that happened last night, and it wasn't. And so like I said, it was pretty, it was kind of difficult last night, and it's weird too, because the dogs loved to go in there and like watch her, and Charlie especially too was like really liked her. Like if you were holding her, Charlie would come up and like sniff her, and like he wanted to, I don't know, it's kind of weird, he was like kind of scared of her at the same time, but like very like wanted to like be near her too at the same time. Like, and he was actually very sweet. And also too, like if you ever said like, oh, let's go check on Pig, he would like immediately go into my parents' room and he'd go sit on the bed, and like when we give her treats and stuff like that, like, and he'd watch her, and he like he was sweet with her. Bravo, not so much. I don't know if I think he maybe saw her a little bit more as food, but Charlie was like not like that. He was very sweet. And so I don't know, yesterday he just seemed like, after, you know, we found out, he seemed very like sad. Like he just kept looking up at me, but like his head was down, and like I don't know, like I feel like, again, animals have a sixth sense kind of thing. Like they just know when something's up, and I think he kind of knew like that, you know, she wasn't with us anymore. I don't know if Bravo cared so much, but Charlie I think knew, and I think, like I said, he looked sad a little bit to me, like a little off from like his normal like behavior, like nighttime behavior, I guess. Like to me that seemed off a little bit. But anyways, like I was saying, it's kind of sad. We just, you know, like my mom was saying too, she's like, I'd love to like rescue another one or two, but like I guess guinea pigs too, because we've had two at the same time, but I think most of the other times we've had only one, I think one at a time. But I guess guinea pigs are very social creatures, and they really like to have like a roommate. And so like a lot of times they like to be, again, in, you know, like in twos, I guess, at least in pairs. So my mom was talking about like if we did rescue one, that she'd want to, you know, rescue two of them at the same time, because they, you know, like they're cute when they do interact with each other. Like I said, we had two at the same time. One was like a couple months old, and then the other one was like also like a baby. The one was a little bit older than the other one, and we had them at the same time. They were Matthew and Jack's guinea pigs. And I think they were the last one we had, and they were when we were in high school. But then, like I said, my mom came across this, that there was, you know, she was in need of rescue, and so we ended up rescuing her. And again too, she was several years old, but she seemed, again, like she was really cared for and like handled a lot. And so we really don't know why she ended up, you know, she was like a owner surrender, but she, like I said, she was such a sweet guinea pig, and it's really sad too. And like I said, going into like my parents' room, or even to like going in the fridge, normally whenever I go in the fridge, a lot of times I'd be like, oh, there's like carrots, I'd like, I'll go and give her one. And now like today when I was in the fridge, I was like, we have these carrots, and like, you know, again too, we eat them, but we'll probably not eat as many as we've been buying in the past, just because we give them to her, like I said, a lot of times as treats. And it's been, like I said, 2.5 years where I've been like accustomed to being like, oh, like, you know, again, we'll buy extras of that because we give them to her. And now to kind of change that is, you know, like I said, a little weird. Like, and even to giving her, like, I give her the stuff from the garden, like greens from the garden and stuff like that, and she loved eating on that stuff too. But again, it's just, it's gonna be a weird adjustment now, not having a guinea pig to you know, again, you give that stuff to see when we go in, and when I'm in there, you know, again to have outs and watch TV with me and that kind of stuff. It's sad. I miss her. But like I said, you know, if we happen to come across another rescue at our animal shelter that needs, you know, another pig that needs rescue, and we'll get her. She had so many nicknames too. We called her Miss Pig, we called her Gigi, we called her Gigi McPiggins, or just McPiggins. And so she, like I said, she had a couple names, but a lot of times if you go in there and you'd like call her too, even if she didn't, like, you know, like she was still like sleeping in her house, if you called her, then she'd come out. Like sometimes she wouldn't always, you know, but unless she really wanted a treat, like then she let it be known, and like she do her like squealing and stuff like that too, to let it be known that she wanted a treat, like when you'd go in the room. But like I said, sometimes she'd just still be laying there, and then as soon as you call her, she'd like get up and then she'd come and look, you know. So you know, again, it's tough. It's tough losing a pet. But anyways, I am going to go get in the shower now and get to bed, because we're having somebody come over tomorrow to fix the leaky faucet in the shower, which is thankful that that is being done. So I'm going to take a shower right now though, but I gotta get up early because I gotta clean the bathroom tomorrow, because we want to have a clean bathroom. We have the, you know, like I said, them come over to fix that. So I got to get up to take care of that tomorrow, but I will see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.